folks, Dave here at Thunder Mesa Studio on a Workbench Wednesday. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are and whenever you happen to be watching. I'm over here at my drafting table today because I want to talk about model railroad track plans, and I still draw them by hand with, pencil and paper, usually on blue line graph paper. I started drawing track plans probably when I was about 11 or 12 or 13, somewhere in there, years old, and have been doing it ever since. I absolutely love drawing track plans. I actually call the more elaborate ones, like you see for Thunder Mesa, layout maps, because it's so much more than just the track plan. There's all of the landscaping and the structures and everything else and that go into a finished model railroad to help tell the story. Back when I was young, drawing track plans was my way of participating in the hobby in those days before I had the resources or the space or anything like that to actually build a model railroad like the Thunder Mesa Mining Company. And nearly all of the track plans I've drawn over the years have been freelance layouts, made up fictitious railroads. Usually with bits and pieces drawn from other real railroads. I love Colorado narrow gauge. I love Western railroading like the Virginia and Truckee, and the old Southern Pacific and the Santa Fe and things like that. So I would often take bits and pieces from those lines and kind of mush them up all together and create my own fictitious prototype and tell a story that way. Today, I want to talk about 3 different plans that I found recently while I was digging through some stuff here. I'm in the midst of rearranging a lot of things here in the studio in the course of Thunder Mesa 2.0, but I found some plans that I want to talk about. I've drawn plans for N scale, HO, On30, even G, on and on, but these are 3 plans that have actually been up on my website for quite a while, and I will drop links down below so you can access them and right-click Save As and use those plans if you want to. I put them out there because I want people to build them. I don't ask anything for it. Just do a good job, enjoy yourself, have fun, and I just ask that you don't try to resell the plans commercially or anything like that. But if it's just for your own personal use, if you're going to build your own model railroad, be my guest. They are for you. The first ON30 plan I want to talk about is one I call the Rimfire and Latigo. I was in love with that name for a long time and was going to build a model railroad called the Rimfire and Latigo. I never actually got much further than the planning stages, but I do have a couple of pieces of rolling stock that you might see from time to time on the Thunder Mesa layout, which are lettered for the Rimfire and Latigo. This plan is for a 4x8 space, the classic 4x8, like you go down to the lumber yard and you pick up a 4x8 sheet of plywood and plunk some track on it and you're off to the races. It illustrates the challenges of translating something meant for an HO scale space into O scale. Like down here where you see the parallel tracks of the passing siding, there's a little depot here on the left, and then a water tank and a grade crossing where the road crosses the tracks there. Those parallel tracks need to be at least 3 inches apart. So, almost twice as far apart as they need to be in HO scale. This plan also shows the sizes of the buildings. These are, twice the size of structures that you would have on an HO scale layout. So you've got room for a depot. I put an engine house in here with it's probably a 48-foot turntable, which would be big enough just barely to turn a Bachmann Mogul, a Bachmann 260. So this was probably designed with that locomotive in mind. The curves are 18-inch radius curves, like you'll often find on 4x8 layouts. Looks like there's a slight elevation change from front to back. The rear track rear, what we call the back stretch here, which goes through the tunnels, is probably about an inch higher than the track up front. And as you can see, I've got the town structures here kind of climbing up the hillside. That would be a very steep hillside to clear, to, for the clearance necessary for that tunnel underneath the town there. Be, very Jerome-like. Those buildings would be climbing right up the side of the hill. It's kind of hard to tell from the plan, but you can see as the road comes under this, I have indicated it looks like a wooden trestle here on the right. The road kind of switchbacks up, so it continues on up the hill from there with this kind of commercial street climbing steeply up the hill to clear the track inside the tunnel. There's a siding up here which comes out from the opening of the tunnel. This is a very kind of a Colorado narrow gauge inspired layout, I think. There's an ore bin also on the backstretch here for other mines that might be in the area. Maybe you'd have some other mines painted on the backdrop and they would come and service this ore bin in the back by wagon, which was often the case, or mule team, and then it would be loaded onto the train cars there. So basically, just a simple loop around. There's a little bit of switching here available in town. A little spur track over here going in front of the depot. That's because this passing siding has to be so short for On30. Where the switches are placed is the absolute maximum between these curves, these 18-inch radius curves. So that's as long as that passing siding can be. It's not as noticeable that it's so short on an HO scale layout because those parallel tracks are closer together. But in On30, you can see that's a pretty short passing siding. So this is going to be trains that are maybe 2 or 3 cars long at the most, which is all you'd want, I think, on a 4x8 where you're doing maybe Western narrow gauge. Yeah, On30, Rimfire and Latigo in 4x8. I know someone is actually building a version of this, and they're doing a fine job. So if anybody else wants to have their chance with it, be my guest. The next plan I've chosen to look at today is the Goldtooth and Fickle Creek. Just a fun little name. Obviously, I was going for something, again, Colorado narrow gauge inspired. This one is a little bit more elaborate than the Rimfire and Latigo. It's larger. But it's designed to fit in not that much more space. It's actually 8 by 6.5 feet, and you can operate it from the center. It's there's the bridge down here. Looks like I've got a truss bridge indicated. You could have a steel truss bridge across there that you could use as a lift out. That could just lift right out. Or if you didn't want to make a lift out, you could duck under that. If you built the layout high enough so you wouldn't be, whacking your head every time you went in and out. This one offers some similar operational possibilities, but I think it's a little bit more advanced. Got some cool scenery options here. Got a trestle down here over Fickle Creek. Nice wooden trestle. Always a good, you can never go wrong with a wooden trestle. I happen to be a big fan of wooden trestles. So that comes around, and then you've got a little grade crossing coming into town. Looks like a barn and some stock pens. These stock pens look like they might actually work for shipping cattle in and out. Nice long passing siding, so you could run again a 260 mogul, a 440 on here, 18-inch radius curves. Again, I've used the trick of having the track elevate from back to front, so it's a 0 elevation down here by the lift out bridge, and then by the time you get to town, it's 1 inch. So what that does is it creates kind of a visual break. It makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. And then you've got this spur track coming off, which goes up to this mine complex, the Goldtooth Mining Company up here. And so that's like a switchback. So it goes from 0 to 1 inch elevation. and then you can switch back up this spur track up to the mine complex, and then you're 2 inches by the time you get there, or 8 scale feet. You've risen 8 scale feet in O scale. So that would add a lot of visual interest. Got a team track here, which is great for freight operations. Again, a bulk oil depot, freight depot, passenger station here. Looks like I've got the commercial street indicated with flats. Up here on top, where this mining complex is, I also have a big ore bin with, looks like ON18 indicated here. Just a little short span of ON18 track, which you could bring in some ore cars in. Over here in the right-hand corner, again, 48-foot turntable, engine facility, single stall engine house, ash pit, coal, sand, everything you need to run a steam locomotive. Well, not everything. It's just, greatly selectively compressed from a real engine yard, but you get the idea. The only thing about this that bothers me, the location of this turntable, is that it's a reach across this foreground track and the other scenery here. And when you've got a turntable like that, you probably want to have that up, right near the edge of the layout, someplace where it's easy to access. But it's not a very far reach. It's not even 24 inches. So it's not that far. It could probably work. Anyway, Goldtooth and Fickle Creek, Western mining themed layout in ON30. This would make a fun one to build. Hope somebody does. And the final plan I want to talk about today is the Lonely Dell and Pariah Canyon. And this one is more fully illustrated in my layout map style. And it represents an attempt to, create sort of a modular system that you could, you could build these 2 modules and then expand on it, or this could be part of a club layout. The modules are 48 by 30, and so you've got just a straight module, 48 by 30 inches, and then you've got a corner module, which is 4 by 4 foot. It would take up a 4 foot square space, but the interface at each end is 30 inches, so it would match up. So these 2 modules are designed to be used as a pair, so they would be paired together. You've got a very dramatic canyon here. You can see my love for southwestern scenery. Looks like a Devil's Gate style tall bridge going across a deep canyon. Pariah Canyon is a real place, by the way, up in northern Arizona, right near the Utah border, above Lee's Ferry, down there on the Colorado River. Goes up into the Vermilion Cliffs wilderness area. Absolutely gorgeous. Great hike, too, by the way. So anyway, this track, it goes through a little tunnel, crosses this dramatic bridge, and comes to a set of switchbacks. Looks like a 4% grade I've got indicated here. So you're going to come around, and then you're going to back up this 4% grade, and you're going to back right into this tunnel. And I've indicated what's a removable cassette, which is basically a length of track with, I got this idea from Ian Rice, a great railroad track planner from the UK, and it's a removable section with that you can pull off and turn around, and you presumably you'd have several of these, so you could have a whole train set up on these, and you could have them on a shelf and take it off and plug it in. And in this particular scenario, it not only is a removable cassette, but it doubles as a lead for this switchback. So you come through this tunnel, and then that gives you enough room for the train, and then you can back up to the Lonely Dell mine up here, which looks an awful lot like the Yankee Girl mine, one of my favorite mines in southwestern Colorado, in the red mining area of Colorado. I've shown a backdrop also on here that's integrated into each module. So it would continue on around a coved backdrop, which is a really nice feature on a corner module. Yeah, Lonely Dell and Pariah Canyon. I've also indicated a 30-inch minimum radius, which is would allow you to run anything. which is the nice thing about a modular setup like this. It gives you, so you built these modules, you could have them running all around a spare bedroom or a garage or something like that, and have that nice wide curve radius, so you could run just about anything. Yeah, I really like this one a lot. And if anyone wants to build it, I hope you do. I put it out there for you. And, by the way, if you do build it, if you build any of these, I would love to see photos. You can find my Facebook group, the Thunder Mesa Mining Company, and post them up there if you decide to build any of these. Or, you can contact me through my website and email them to me. I would love to see photos of your efforts if you're going to build any of these track plans. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. I literally have hundreds of plans that I've drawn over the years. And if you guys enjoy this sort of thing on a Workbench Wednesday, I'd be happy to share more in the future. Just let me know in the comments down below. One thing I do want to say before I sign off today is that even though I do love to draw track plans and continue to draw them all the time, I'm not accepting any commissions at this time to draw track plans for other people. I get asked very often to do that, and I always have to say thank you, but I'm sorry, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to do it. With running the studio here and producing the videos and doing all the other things that I do, the design things that I do. I'm sorry, I don't have time to do it. But thank you. It's always very flattering when someone asks me to draw a track plan for them. I hope you enjoyed today's Workbench Wednesday video. If you did, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, all those YouTube things we ask you to do. You can also follow Thunder Mesa over on Instagram at thunder.mesa, and you can find these track plans on the Thunder Mesa Studio website at thundermesa.studio. Again, I'll put links to the track plans down below so you can go directly to them and right-click Save As if you want them. And of course, as always, if you really enjoy what we're doing here at the channel and would like to show your support in some small way, you can do what these great folks did and go over to patreon.com/thundermesa and show your support there. Until next time, keep moving forward, my friends. Adios for now.